I be getting to the money. Everybody mad.
3 seconds.
Everybody get on the fucking
You're a wilding fan.
I didn't even get a chance to do the introduction.
It's fine.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sophisticated Ignorance. I am Nieema Simone.
I'm Steven.
I'm Vixon.
And we have Miss Bianca in the studio today.
She's dead ass not paying attention.
Fuck is up, y'all? What's good?
Yo, what is up with that delay, yo? Come on.
Sorry. I was reading all this masterfulness you just sent me.
Get with the program.
Alright.
So today, guys, this is our 100th episode.
Round of
Whoa,
applause.
whoa,
Round of fucking
The
applause.
fact that we even made it this far is a
It's
fucking blessing.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Some people don't even make it past episode 1. So there you go.
That's a fact.
This is true.
Date one.
Date facts.
Oh,
Big
okay.
facts.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That escalated quickly.
Doesn't it always?
Okay.
Oh my god. So how did we get here, y'all? For real, like deadass. How did we really get here?
How did it all come to information?
Steven started it.
Yeah, you
as
started
usual.
this shit.
As
It's
usual.
you. You're the one to blame.
Steven
I'm
started
the blame.
it.
Yeah.
I'm the blame.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
wanna
I'll take
blame
the blame.
son?
I'll take the blame.
Yeah, you take the blame.
I mean, I told this story already. It
That's
was like,
fine. Tell it again. You
Tell
gotta-
it again. We got
gotta
new
We
listeners.
got time. We got time.
We got
Gotta
new
recap.
listeners. Tell them the story.
yeah, it was basically I was writing a book that's never coming out because I
Ouch.
never finished it.
Wow, okay.
And I figured around the same time, that's when I started to get into podcasting. I was listening to Tax, Free
Free
Tax. I was listening to the Drink Champs, Rap Radar. And then I was like, all right, I should just do a podcast to promote the book. And then I hit up Nieema. I was like, yo, we should do the podcast. Well, I had told her about the idea of the podcast. And I was like, yo, we should just do the shit together. Like, we always on the phone talking God knows what.
I remember one time I was almost late for work. I was like, wait, what time? I was like, fuck, I gotta get dressed for work. I was life was in
Yeah.
shambles.
Yeah.
In shambles.
And we would just basically talk about any and everything. Personal shit, shit about other people,
Usually.
nonsense. Most of the time it was just nonsense.
Making fun of me.
I try to keep it PC. You don't want to throw it out there. Look, man, I was trying to make you seem like a perfectly sane person.
Mm-hmm.
You just threw it out there. But yeah, so, yeah, that's how I originally started. Then I was kind of hesitant because finances and getting the shit done right and where we going to do this, how's it going to be set up accordingly.
Mhm.
So the idea came in January of 2016 and the show didn't come out till like fucking September.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy. And I've always said about this show is like it's crazy how the universe works because all three of us remember this. Like originally we couldn't find a place to fucking record,
Yep.
like just an open space in general. So it was like, all right, we're just gonna get equipment and just figure some shit out. Got some bullshit ass $100 equipment that we end up never using.
I still have it sitting on top
Yo,
of my
I've
Patreon
been
house.
told
I'm
her-
about to sell it.
I've been told to give me that shit so I can sell it for you.
Son.
You did?
Yes.
I don't remember stuff.
Exactly.
Yes,
How
I've been
long
told
has
you
that
that.
been, yo? Like,
Yeah, it's about to
2
be
years.
Not even. We started
3.
2016, so yeah,
Started
3
16.
years.
3 years.
Wow.
So
Shit's
yeah,
crazy.
so we bought the equipment. I remember Vixon came to my crib and we was trying to figure that shit out.
we are not audio engineers. That shit was like,
Yo, that shit was a dub.
It was the same day we realized, yo, this shit ain't gonna work.
No.
We didn't
It
even
was
say
a
like, all right,
dub.
let's do some research. Let's give it another day. It was like, yo, I don't know what the fuck this is. We out.
Yeah, that shit was a dub. And then I did one last Google search, and then I found Dubway Studios. And mind you, I was searching for studios for mad long.
Yeah, sending me stuff. I was like, I'm not sitting in that room.
And found Dubway, and then the initial goal was like, all right, we're gonna do this one session, our first episode, and then we just go from here. And now we 100 fucking episodes in.
With
Which
all
is
the
crazy
bumps,
because-
with all the fucking like back and forth, like.
Because before we even started, I only had ideas up to, I'd probably say like 20 episodes. So that's 80 other episodes that we crafted.
Winged it.
Somehow, some way.
Winged
Which
it.
is
Well, we gotta
insane.
thank the guests first and foremost, like
Definitely
because
the guest.
Yeah.
if it wasn't for y'all,
Man.
ooh baby,
Oh yeah.
you could
yeah,
only
yeah.
finesse for so long. Before it's like, we like then after we really had an episode called We Ain't Got No Topic. I'm surprised we didn't have more of those. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, we really finessed some shit.
we did.
Like last minute. because for people that don't know, like, we typically record it on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would be harassing Nieema, like, all week, like, yo, what we going to talk about? What we going to talk about?
And I was like, I don't know. I'm
And-
trying to get late this week, and I ain't got time.
Facts.
I used to go to
I might not
drunk
even
all the
make it
time.
much less.
Listen, I used to be fucked up a lot of the time.
And it'd be like fucking Friday, and I'm like, yo, I'm tired of texting this girl. I'm just going to pull up to the studio whenever the fuck happens. And by fucking Sunday,
I would have
let it be alone. We got fucking notes.
There you have it.
How it happened.
Somehow, some way, we finished this shit.
And speaking of guests, Vixen was actually our first guest.
Oh,
Yeah, you
oh,
were.
yeah, there you go. I was the first guest.
You was in the studio the first episode too.
That was a hot topic, though.
Yeah, that's when we learned
Yeah.
drinking on air wasn't the best idea for
Well,
us.
yeah.
Well, it wasn't the best idea for you.
I mean, it wasn't the best idea for anyone at that point. I was wildin'. Shout out to the Henny, I guess, 'cause that shit was
That Henny.
flowing.
I can't even drink that shit no
like
more.
smooth colors.
The devil.
What? You bugging.
I
But you
can't
just
have
talked
it.
about episode like you could take 10 shots of tequila.
Tequila. I can't do
That's
Hennessy.
different.
That's
Oh.
yeah. That's dark, light. It's two different things. I can't do Hennessy. I could do
Excuses.
Douce sometime, but I
Oh,
try.
how
not to.
convenient is that?
I try not to. They
How
taste,
fucking convenient
they
is
taste a
that?
little different. I can't do Hennessy.
Douce is a little better, yeah. You're right.
Do say it's better though.
The taste is smoother.
Yeah.
And I don't wake up with a headache.
True.
But yeah, a lot of these episodes were made too because of Bianca.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out
Clap it up
to
for
you.
Bianca. Clap it up for Bianca.
She definitely was.
Because there's been plenty of times where I've had an idea or a concept, and I'll jot down like 3-4 ideas, and then I'm just fucking shot mentally. And I'm like, yo, B, you got,
Finish.
you got this. And she would come with some.
Fire.
Not only would she come with shit that's relevant, she'll come with shit that I was even thinking is in the same realm.
Cause
And
I
it's,
be trying to figure shit out. Like, you know what I'm
You
saying?
better flex.
Are
man.
we going there or are we going there?
We going there.
Oh, okay.
and then it's tough because sometimes you be going there, and then it's like, yo, we only got the studio for an hour.
Facts. We got rid of this shit back.
That's what I'm like, we gotta do a part 2.
Yeah, because I be feeling bad because sometimes I have to delete shit, and it's like, I know based off of what we already have, we're not going to reach this in time.
Definitely not.
And I'd be like, yo, like this is the good shit. Use the good shit. Like, what's going on?
The meat and potato.
But it always works out.
You just want to smoke early, that's all.
Yeah.
She just wants to smoke, that's
I
it.
forgot what episode we had, and I was like, ooh, I'm not even asking this question.
Wait,
I think we had Adafe.
Oh, a Duff.
I
Oh,
was like, I'm not
yeah.
answering
yeah.
It got crazy. It got crazy.
Yeah, that was a spicy ass
I-
question.
yo.
I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, what question was it?
Well,
Man.
it's not. Well,
because I have an issue.
Right.
I have a
I know
Right.
the question, but
Right.
Well,
I have an issue and I
Wait,
have a
is
gripe.
it that bad that we shouldn't
it's
say
not
it all?
bad.
It's not
It's just
bad.
heavy.
It's not bad.
It's
Yeah.
just a heavy.
It's not
ass question.
bad. I have a gripe, and
Well,
I
talk
didn't
about it.
think that he would. I didn't read what you guys were gonna talk to him about before
You put that
started.
on the question.
I started going off
Yeah.
Right.
because I feel like
Grab the hand.
Talk about it.
You're about to violate.
no, I'm not about to violate. We need to continental Africans and African Americans need to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to
And
do
that's
it.
just where I'm
Oh,
gonna leave
okay.
it at, because I'm not about to fly off the handle with this.
Yeah, I
it
think.
was,
But-
it was
I
more
agree, yeah.
smokier than what she
I
said,
agree.
but basically
But
that's
that's
we
the
kinda
premise
touched
of
on
where,
a lot
I was
of them.
going with this shit. And I wanted to know how much he actually knew about our plight in becoming African Americans.
I agree.
And do they feel responsible?
I agree with the question, but the way the shit was set up, he had his own issues. Like he had a lot
Right.
of things
So
on his
I
head.
didn't
Right,
know.
yeah.
I didn't know
So-
any of that.
I wasn't trying to cheat a dude like T'Challa. Like,
Yeah.
like this
Yeah.
guy's the owner of Wakanda. And he got all the answers. So it's like,
Yeah.
this would be a great question, but
We're
probably
gonna
for another
save
day.
that. We're gonna
Like-
save that. So it's in the tuck. Just know.
Yeah, or,
It's
yeah.
in the chamber.
You know what I'm
Click,
saying?
in the
It's in the
chamber.
clip. You know what I'm saying?
Shitty, shitty, bang, bang.
So if y'all want to come up here and talk that talk,
All right. Well,
we'd be more than happy.
if you got the energy for round 2, then then we'll bring him back because that was a pretty dope episode.
Yeah, that was a dope episode.
That was a very good episode.
Speaking of that,
by the
what were
way.
like some of y'all favorite guests?
Ooh.
The
Wow.
art guy, Ronald.
Oh, Draper.
Ronald
Draper.
Draper.
Yes.
I fuck with Draper.
Yeah,
Shout
that
out
was
to
cool.
the
I like
homie.
him.
Shout out to the homie.
Of course, Manny.
Yeah, shout out to Manny.
Manny is a
He's
favorite.
a crowd favorite.
Crowd favorite.
Yeah, he's a mess. He literally messed up.
He's
well, not.
hilarious.
He literally threw our whole
The
script.
whole show got thrown off. I'm like, oh, so we just gonna go away.
That's the effect.
Off book.
That's just what he does.
Yeah, like
I
Yeah.
like
Get back
when
on
he's
top.
on.
I feel like he did it on purpose because he was just in that sort of mood.
I
And
like
he's
when
the type
he's
of
on.
person like, however mood he's in, he's going to it 100.
Gemini for you, I guess.
It was at that. I just reached a point where I was like, I threw my phone down. I was like, fuck the notes.
all right.
Yeah.
we just gonna. Antoine was here.
Facts.
That was
And that's
it.
literally the name of the show.
That's the
Yeah.
name of the
Antoine
episode,
was here.
and that was the thumbnail for that episode.
Honestly, I
The
listened to that
picture
shit. I
of
was
him.
like, I'm not bad. I'm not bad at this shit.
And I was pissed actually because that was a good ass episode.
Yeah.
Was that the ghosting one?
No, that
No,
was
it
supposed,
was supposed to be bad habits.
Bad
Yeah.
habits.
And I kept trying to like segue
Bring it
back.
back.
He kept
It was
fucking
not
out there. I
working.
was like,
Tried
yo,
it.
fucking, I'm
That
tired.
shit was not
Tried
working
it.
at all.
Because then he was saying some wild shit to me. I'm like,
Bruh,
not talking
what
about
the
this
fuck?
on air. Not talking about this on air.
That's my guy.
Oh my
That is
gosh.
my guy.
Who else was good?
Oh man, this is.
Oh, your people's Mandy.
Oh, Mandy's always a
She's
good
always
one.
a good
Shout out to
time.
Mandy.
Yeah,
word.
'cause she always got shit to say.
She's always a good time.
She always got shit to say, and she gonna address some shit.
Yeah.
Word.
I like that about her though. Cause she don't give a fuck. Like
Why should
She really
Oh,
don't.
that's
Why
that
should she have
Libra
to?
in her.
she don't care.
That's
She
that
really
Libra
don't,
in
yo.
her.
She don't care.
Sometimes we be having conversations, and I just laugh because she really don't give a fuck. And then it makes me laugh because then I'll see her on like social media and see how like people try to like attack her, and I was like, you know, y'all wasting your breath, right? Because she really don't
She
give
don't
a
care,
fuck.
but she's gonna entertain you.
She has too
Yeah,
much.
Yeah.
and she gotta say some shit to
'Cause
trigger
she got
you.
time.
She got too
time.
much energy.
She gonna go right on her IG story and flame your shit.
She got
Yeah.
big dick energy.
That's
I respect that.
that's my nigga. That's
Big dick energy indeed.
Period.
Who else is a good one?
Yo, Cat and Cat. The
My
cats.
cat, the cats.
Oh baby,
Oh, yeah.
the
Cat
cat.
They
A and cat
are-
1.
Wait,
They
there's
are
two
a
cats.
tandem.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's two different.
So I like the cat with the lupus episode. I thought that was like
Yeah,
that was a
crazy.
really good episode.
I didn't know there was more
There's
than one.
another cat.
Yeah.
Who's the
there's
other
another
cat?
Cat F is because Catherine Ducasi was one of lupus, and then
Okay.
Catherine Fernandez is the other one, the makeup artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there was one episode I know that they came on here, talking y'all shit, and that was just.
Was it? It wasn't. It was part of Women's History Month, and it was
Yeah.
Never Have I Ever
Oh, that
or
was
some
good.
crap like that.
Oh yeah, they was wildin'. They was wildin'.
A mess.
Oh
that was
man,
getting
Wow.
crazy up here.
That
A
was good.
mess.
when the cats come together, oh baby.
They
That's
put
so
all of
wild.
us in one store like this week, and I was like, why would y'all do this?
No work is
Why'd y'all
getting
do
done. Nothing's getting done.
Not even that. We be flaming
And customers
people.
are gonna be tight.
Flaming them.
Filet
I started a
mignon.
burn book at work too.
Are you shitting
You're a
me?
mean girl.
I had to
You're
get
a
on my
mean
nerves.
girl.
And I dedicated like our back room area called the flame room.
The
So we
flame
go back there
room.
whenever
Yo,
somebody
this
piss
branding
you
is
off.
crazy.
You go in the burn book and you write what client pissed you off today.
That's
Like we have
that's
to get it
actually
out.
Branding
therapeutic.
It is because sometimes we
crazy.
be so tight. Let me just go to the back real quick and let me just get this out because I'm gonna curse you already out if I see her one more time.
It's
Yeah,
close to the burn room.
the
flame
flame
room.
room.
the flame
And
room.
you write in the burn book.
The flame room.
Yo, this shit
I'm about to
inspires,
sing your
no
ass
pun intended.
flame room. Okay?
Speaking of, y'all saw the Fire documentary?
What?
Did y'all see
Yes,
the
the
Fire
Fire.
I only
documentary?
seen
I
the
didn't
Netflix
finish
one.
it, but that shit
Wait,
is
which
wild.
one didn't
The
you finish?
Netflix one is
The
insane.
Netflix one.
The
Oh,
Netflix
you
one
didn't
is
finish the Netflix
insane.
I don't have Hulu, so I'm not.
Nah,
gonna see
That
that
Netflix
shit
one
is
is
cra-
fucking
Yo,
Both of them.
insane.
Both
I
of 'em.
remember
Both
when
of 'em.
that was going down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah,
That
When
shit
that
was
shit
crazy.
blew up, yo, shout out to Ja Rule. I don't know how this
I wanted
guy
to go
avoids.
so
The
bad.
only thing I questioned was it's two things I questioned. I questioned the people that was working for Billy, because clearly money, he wasn't stable with money. So how were
Right.
y'all getting paid? Because
Right.
one of the dudes said he got paid and like he just gave him like a bag of cash. Like I'm not working anywhere where I'm getting a bag
But
of
that
cash.
should have been mad sus anyway.
Yeah,
What
that's
Jeff
weird.
says.
And then the other thing was, I don't see how they were influencers, because we know influencers ain't that bright.
What?
But why the fuck are you spending all your money
Budo
on an
bucks?
event that you've never heard of?
Wait, the
For the
influencers
first-
were paying money for that?
They were paying money to go
To
to
go
the
to the
festival.
event. Now here's the thing.
And
Well,
they were
they
paying
dumb, because
bands.
the influencers I know they get flued out. They
They
don't
were
pay
paying
for nothing.
bands. Like
So it was
$250.
influencers and it was
No.
like just rich white kids going
Yes.
too.
Yes. And
But they
were,
opened it up to everybody. Okay, so I remember when the shit went down. Basically, they put the video
I
out.
was there.
They put the fucking remember.
I
They put the
remember,
video
yeah.
out and they had all the models and all the, the crazy people on there or whatever.
The video was
And then they
good.
sent you the packages.
And the packages.
So the
were
packages were
crazy.
ridiculous. So if you really think about it, if you're not going on vacation this year, it's
Okay.
worth the money.
Right, that is true.
It's worth the money. You're going to be on Pablo Escobar's island,
Alleged, but
which is a draw.
It,
You're gonna
it was,
be-
but they wasn't allowed to stay. That was the
Yeah,
island.
it was.
So
I
they
mean, it
gotta
was a
take
draw. I know
away.
it was a draw, but it's like, all right, it's his island, whatever, okay.
First
moving
of
on.
all, when the
Like,
guy,
he's
when
not
they,
there. So,
the-
like,
the safety person said, y'all can't inhabit this place
yo, there was
Right.
because it's not safe.
there was more
Right.
flags than 6 Flags. There was the amount of flags. Oh, but it might have been an amusement park.
None of this shit made sense.
But the people he hired to work with him, like, why aren't they like getting in trouble for that? Because y'all was a part of it too. Even if y'all was fake saying, "Oh, this ain't gonna work," y'all was still fucking there.
Oh yeah, everybody.
Well,
everyone
he's
got
the-
one.
Yes,
He's the
how
one
did
who-
it
he's the
fall
one that was
apart? Like,
committing
how
the
did it
fraud.
not work? Because they made so much money.
What I got from it was all the
Okay.
money they got from the fire festival. He was using that money to pay off
Of
of
other shit.
that
'Cause
man
he's
D's
basi-
credit card. So all the money he got, he was using to pay the other people
The other
fees.
venture, yeah.
Yeah. Cause like if you paying me a certain amount of money for this platinum card, I gotta give you stuff for it. I gotta make sure you could get that car and get that money. So he was
Yeah,
taking
they
from
said
here
that in the
and giving it
Netflix
from
doc.
there. If she got up to that part,
'Cause
yeah.
Because I remember
So
them
he-
in DC, whatever. the fuck it
Yeah.
was.
Because from my
Magnesis.
understanding, the
I thought it
Netflix.
meant
DC.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Free
man,
man DC.
Gang.
Hashtag free man DC.
Harlem.
The Netflix.
Dipset.
The Netflix
Shout out to
doc. The
Yandy.
Netflix doc is with Fuck Jerry.
Yeah,
The
fuck
marketing,
Jerry.
the marketing team he
Yeah,
hired.
sponsored that one.
Mm.
And then the Hulu doc, I believe, is with
it's-
Billy.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Billy's
he's
in
getting
it.
paid for that. So every time we watch it, he gets money off of it.
Yeah.
And some shit like that.
Some
So from my understanding, because I don't have Hulu,
I don't
from my
have-
I
understanding
watched
from
one, so, yeah.
from my understanding from the Hulu one, he basically has been a scammer his whole entire life. So
whole
he
life.
would just do another
said
scam
that.
Whole life.
to pay for the previous scam.
Wow.
Because even, you didn't get up to that part. I don't want to ruin it for you. But even when he got indicted or whatever on those charges for Fire Festival, he got another young kid, like 23, 24.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did
to help
another.
him with
He
another
was,
scam.
he was doing another scam while he was on probation.
Yes.
He just can't stop.
Talking about, I need you to be the face of it because I'm under,
I'm
know.
under investigation.
Yeah.
He's like the Diddy of scamming.
Stop.
Take that.
Yeah.
He
Take
just
that.
can't stop, won't stop.
Stop.
Take that.
And now that he's
Yeah.
in jail, he stopped. But when he gets out, he's gonna continue. I swear.
And if he was smart, he would at least had some kind of money, like on an offshore account.
Nah.
How did he not have
Yo,
it?
fam is like
Right.
26 years old.
He was stupid
Like,
because they said all he was doing with his money was buying these yachts, driving around New York City with a Maserati,
hanging out with Ja Rule.
living in a
That's already a
penthouse.
mistake.
Do you know how much a fucking New York City penthouse is?
Yeah, nah.
Well,
Now, you know what his problem was? He was a fat, sweaty little kid in middle school. Everybody teased him because he smelled like hot dog water.
respectful.
And so when he got older, he was like, I'm going to finesse all these people who used to make fun of me when I was little. I'm going to take all their money. That's exactly it.
That's what happened.
He's a sociopath. That's what it is.
happened.
Well,
Borderline narcissist, too.
Hey.
That's what it was.
what are the takeaways here? Because I want that type of influence.
I need
Like,
that kind of energy.
can I influence $1 million out of somebody? Like,
First, find
help
Ja
me.
Rule.
I
First
need
of
Ja
all,
Rule
Ja
on the
Rule has
squad.
another venture going on trying to do the same act.
Icon.
Stop.
No, because when you look at the Netflix doc, the concept and the ideas are actually
It's
Sounds
amazing.
smart.
fire.
Amazing.
Word. Like Fire Festival would have really been dope
It would
if
have
it
been
was like
crazy
legit.
as shit.
Yeah, but it
They
wasn't.
just wanted to have it on the island. Y'all could have took that someplace else.
I mean, but I would have been.
I don't
really
even
dope,
think
though.
the festival
Or
part
rent it out a
was,
resort.
I don't think
Right.
the festival part was something he should have aimed for. The actual other part, like the app that they was trying to do, where you could
That was
book your
dope. Yeah.
book your own
That
artist,
would have been crazy.
that would have been something. The festival
Definitely
he was
would've been
doing way too much for, because he was trying to book top tier talent. You just started the fucking festival. You do not have the budget.
He
for
had
that.
the money to pay them though.
No, he didn't.
He had the $4 million. They got it.
They got it from an investor, but the thing
Okay,
is,
but
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
about
but now he older and invest the
He
money
was
already
because
in
he
debt.
lied and
Production-
said Drake was
the
going to
production
be there.
was $32 million.
Altogether, it was $32 million that he took from
he
everybody.
was already in
Altogether.
the hole when he started this whole thing to begin with.
That's
so
why he was
he
finessing
already didn't have no
paperwork.
money.
He told the investors Drake was on. Drake agreed to
Kylie
be a part of
Jenner
it.
said that Ye was going to be there. Ye was nowhere to be found. He was nowhere close.
He was
Like,
wilding. He was wilding.
Everybody was wilding. They all
That-
went down.
That shit was just like mind blowing.
They said they paid Kendall to post one video, it was like $250,000
Yeah, they wired
for
her.
one
Damn.
post. One.
You know how much I get
they
paid
wired
to
her.
post shit?
Word, I post my own shit for free.
For the free.
As if I remember.
Pay me to post on Instagram, please.
Yeah,
Just send
that
me
shit
free
was
clothes.
wild. That shit was
Okay.
wild.
But anyway, back to our show.
Right.
Back to our non-fire festival.
Word, we're not frauding you here.
Right. No scams in this corner.
Everything's legit. Allegedly.
But yeah,
That's
I mean,
the spirit.
off the top of your heads, like, what was like one of y'all favorite episodes?
My favorite episode.
And a little teaser. We got a quiz coming up later on. We're gonna be quizzing these two hosts of ours, me and Bianca. So
I know it's not a favorite.
some of these questions are gonna come up again.
It's a
but
favorite for me, not
Steve's about to be annoying. What is it?
It's a favorite for me because I recall the original story, even though at the moment that we recorded, it didn't really like make me feel away because I already heard the story. But I always tell Nieema, cause she'll like we'll have conversations and she'll like want to mention stuff or things of that nature, and you know depending on what it is, I'll be like, nah, chill because your family listen or things of that nature, and there'll be some stuff where she just. If she says it, she says it.
And a lot of times in the early episodes, I was drunk, guys. Like I was
Damn.
really
I
coming
never knew
straight
that.
from Dykeman,
convenient.
taking a shower,
When
coming to
she-
the studio.
I never knew that.
When
Fucked up.
she
Steve
told
used to be tight, like,
when she told the fucking orgy story, I just remember the first
remember
time
that
when she
episode.
told
I
me,
said,
and
wow.
I was in tears.
my life be wilding sometimes, and I don't even do that shit on purpose. I just like, how did I end up here? How?
That was definitely a highlight for me.
I
That
like
was
That was
definitely a
crazy.
highlight for me.
The recap.
Cause it was like, yo, don't ever say no shit you don't want to share. And she was just
Right. So we just like, if you don't,
She was just
don't
flowing.
say it and just let
She was
it
just
mash
flowing.
it out. Now that I'm
That's not
sober,
what happens, yo.
now that I'm sober, I'm like, I ain't gonna say that.
You make it seem like you had a problem back then. Now that I'm 2 years sober, I know the error of my ways. Like,
2 days sober. 2 days sober.
And then another moment that was funny but like horrible was when I mentioned somebody's name not on purpose. Like I try to say a different name, but it's the first name that came out was like, cause Nieema and I know him by his shortened name,
Yeah.
and I instead of saying a completely different name, I actually said his
The
whole.
full fucking name,
his
and
full
my
name.
heart dropped. And I was like, and I
Yo,
hit him. I reached over and hit him right in the chest.
That punch,
that punch.
cause it was completely by accident.
I think who was here? Orva was here on the episode. Orva was here.
She was. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was a guest episode. Because you was sitting next to me.
Mhm.
That's the only reason why he was able to punch
Orva
me.
was here.
But it just slipped out. Like, I was thinking of saying something completely different, and I just went with his whole first name. And I was like, oh,
And my
shit.
cousin hit me up like, word. I'm like, don't let this nigga listen to this episode.
Period.
Whatever you do, don't play it in a car.
Delete
'cause
this.
I'm like, you know how many so-and-sos is in the world?
Right?
Delete
Don't.
this.
And it was like, and like you can tell because it got really quiet for a minute. Like, nigga. Yeah, that was it. Right
That's what the
there.
silence said.
Like,
Because as soon as I said it, I immediately looked over to her, and my jaw dropped.
boom, man, hard.
Because it was really
My
unintentional.
work was like,
It was really
Like, these niggas
unintentional.
is crazy.
That's
I
another
need
thing
to go
about our
back and
guests.
listen to that. That
And I
shit
think we
is
mentioned
crazy.
that before. That's another thing about our guests. Because, like, some of the guests haven't listened to the show, or they may know us personally, but they've never interacted with both of us at the same time.
right.
So a lot of times they'll come here and they'll start seeing us argue, which is, we just playfully just talking shit to one another. And they'll be like, yo, this is how y'all really
Really?
fucking
Mhm.
act.
Who did that? Only Child Syndrome?
Oh yeah.
No, Brittany. When we had Brittany on the phone,
Oh,
Brittany Hall
we,
from,
a whole spat while she on the phone. I was spitting
Brit-
bars.
Brittany
'cause I
Hall,
was so
she's been
tight.
on
Yeah.
She's been on Ballers. She was on that show on Netflix.
Netflix with Sanaa Lathan.
Napoli
Yeah.
Ever After.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
yeah.
was on that. I believe she's about to be on something else. I can't remember. But yeah, she called in from LA, and so the episode was done or whatever, and we just having casual conversation, and I don't know what Nieema brought up or what I brought up,
As you
and we just started just fucking arguing back
Steven
and
will
forth.
trigger you,
He
and he
be
won't
setting
even.
shit up.
And he don't even realize he triggered you. Like, I'm like, you dead ass right now because I'm not playing with you. And he would just like.
And she was just laughing. She was like, "Oh, so y'all really like this is what y'all do?" It was
And
like,
then that's when we used to be able to see the engineer in the other room.
Right.
And I think we had Dylan. Dylan was here.
oh,
And
yeah.
then both the cats was here, and they was just sitting. And Vixen was over there too, and they was like, "No, this is what they usually do." And you can see everybody's face like they're on a whole phone with a guest right now, wilding. Like never know how to behave.
Hey,
Never know
This
how to
is
behave.
probably exactly why we don't go on other shows.
Well,
Right.
y'all remember,
Actually,
y'all remember the last time y'all went on another show?
and shout out to them, the Blueprint, Dev and
Derek.
That was a
Derek.
good episode too.
I love those two. Like outside of
I was trying.
this.
I was trying my best
Were you?
to like give legit answers, but Nieema was just like talking shit.
I was rapping. I was
She
in
was
my mean
talking
mode.
shit to me. She was like whispering shit to me, and I was like, I give up. Alright, fuck it. If you ain't gonna be serious, then I ain't gonna take this shit serious.
I started rapping.
And fucking Derek was like, yo, y'all
Stop.
mad silly.
Yeah.
like,
And
he couldn't
Derek
even get
was
the
like, yo,
questions
why
out.
don't you give like legit answers? I was like, if they was here, this is probably the
It would
same
be
thing I
answer.
tell them.
'Cause it's
Like,
Like,
you
why
can't
you
be
being
this
a
dumb.
fucking dickhead? Why you being dumb?
Why you being
Fuck that
dumb?
nigga. Move on.
Next, thank you. Next.
Well, that's usually how it goes.
But I will say that this podcast has brought me and Steven's friendship a lot closer, and I was able to bond with you two as well. Because before the show, me and Steven really didn't see each other, and I would get mad at him, and I would not talk to him for like 3 months.
Respectfully.
But with this show, it was like we was beefing. I still had to show up to the studio. It was like, I still gotta see this nigga, and I'm still not gonna say hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sophisticated Ignorance. I am Nieema Simone, and y'all will never know I was dead tight at this nigga.
I had no
well, I
idea it was like legit beef. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Got real awkward.
Like, it's
real
It was
fast.
like a ting. I didn't know it was a ting.
It stemmed from one
Ting.
thing, and then I'm the type of person to where it's like, if I'm like, Steven is very much like, okay, it's done and it's over with, and I'm like, nah, nigga, it's not, because I'm still tight. So it went from one thing, and
tight.
it just like, yeah, he's just a straight dickhead,
Be
and
tight.
so it just rolled over for like a good,
100
like
episodes
3 or 4
later.
months.
Well,
3 or 4 months they rolled over, and I was just like, alright, whatever. He's just gonna be an asshole for the rest of his life, and fuck it, you gotta accept it.
I
Look
would
at
just-
us.
I would
100 episodes in with great content.
good.
I'll just look back and forth like, I'm not.
Sometimes we
don't
didn't
get me
even
involved. Don't get me involved.
One time I did get mad at Steven. I couldn't hit Steven, so I hit Vixen and walked out.
Yeah, I remember that.
I wouldn't know.
It was just like,
I'll take the hit.
It's okay.
it was just a shrug, like,
For the team.
Okay.
I think that, but I think just in general that just happens when you have different personalities and just different people in general working on something. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna clash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very close.
Yeah.
It
So
happens.
it's kind of inevitable, to be quite honest.
Whatever.
Hey, it is what it is.
Whatever. We're past that.
Are we?
Just check.
Fucking mess.
Nah, I
yo.
feel that though.
Mad triggered.
Fucking mess.
Oh, goodness. So now what's next, Vixen?
What is next? That's a very good question.
You created this episode.
I did not create this episode. Like,
Yeah, you did.
I just have a
Yeah,
quiz.
you definitely did.
I have a quiz of questions.
All right, so this
If
is
the
the
people
part.
think this episode is trash, blame it on Vixen.
All right, y'all can do that. Y'all can do that. Just wait. Don't blame me just yet. No, I made up a quiz
we
of
can just
questions.
get real mixy at this point. Too.
I mean,
They
we
love
still.
mixing.
I mean, some of these questions are mad easy. Some of these questions, y'all never gonna get it.
Listen.
I just want to see y'all get like
finna
mad
school
stumped.
for 10
Everybody,
months. I think I
I've
could
always
do
told
this.
people like I almost never listen back to the episode.
I don't know
I
why is
do.
that. Why don't you
I
listen
do
back?
not like the sound of my own voice.
That's crazy.
Same.
I
You
don't
got
like
two
it.
I get over
it.
whole ass
Listen,
I
podcasts
don't
and you don't
either.
listen to this shit. Like, how?
I
Sway?
don't listen back. Like while I edit, I'll listen to like brief moments to see the levels, and then the beginning and the end to cut out any unnecessary shit. But besides that, I never listened to full episodes. The only time I ever went back to listen to full episodes was after, I think maybe after the first year, and that was just to like review the show in general to see what changes could have been made, things that we could have did better at, on things in general. But besides that, I never listen back.
This is very interesting.
I
never
don't
listen back.
like it either though.
That's like when the few times there be like errors in the fucking recording, I'm always the last person to find out because I don't listen back to this shit. I always listen to the beginning to the end. It's like, oh, okay, this is cool.
What you mean crackling noise?
Right.
I hear shit. Like,
there. I never listen back. I don't listen back to the episodes. I don't watch the videos. It's like
Good job.
I actually watched the video. I fidget a lot.
And then
But
plus
because
I got
forget
so-
the cameras there, something doing all the other stuff.
plus I got so much more I have to do in terms of marketing the show. Like if I send out emails, I gotta post them on social media. If there's relevant content, if we have a guest, I have to make sure I give all the guests all the proper links and all this other. Like I don't be having the time to sit down and just listen to this shit.
Steven's good for that. I can't.
It'd be
I
your
can't do
own
all
podcast. Oh man, but yes, I came up with this quiz. I did a little bit of research. Some of these shits are bad easy. Y'all gonna answer it in like 2 seconds, but some other ones are gonna be kind of hard. So
Got a lot of faith
me and B are gonna alternate between questions
Okay.
because I need help. Okay. So there's only 15 questions, so don't say it too brazen. So the first one is, what date was the first episode of Sophisticated Ignorance uploaded?
I don't
Is
know.
that is it
don't
September 8th, September 4th, or September 5th?
5th.
September 4th.
Ooh, the answer is September 5th.
Nieema
Nieema gets the point.
Only because your iPhone helps you when you have like pictures. It shows you the date, and I was just looking at pictures from back then.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have any.
Ouch.
Everything is uploaded on Dropbox.
That's embarrassing. All right, let's go to question number 2.
Is it?
You should know the first date that you uploaded your own podcast.
You
Like,
did it.
He don't remember that. Steven has a bad memory. His
Good
So
job.
we
memory.
100. We're 100 episodes in on this. 30 plus episodes with culture. Like that's a lot of fucking content. I think that's one thing we don't give enough. We don't give ourselves enough credit for. Is like that's a lot of fucking
It is.
content.
It's a lot.
It's
Yeah,
very
we created.
difficult. Y'all niggas think this shit is easy? Nah. Try
That's
it.
every
It's
week.
not.
Fucking try it.
With
Okay.
your
Every
own
week.
personal life, trying to make sure you can be available and yeah.
Like low key, I'm actually developing my own podcast, but like I'm using it for
Are
the series
you?
that I'm working on. But just editing those episodes is a lot of work.
Man, That's-
And
That's
mind you, I'm
getting-
no audio engineer. Like,
that's getting
Just
an
crazy.
idea. Then making sure the idea is good enough for you to talk about it for an hour.
Mhm.
Then actually
Right.
going
And then
to
pushing the conversation.
yeah,
Oh.
actually giving relevant
Sometimes
points and not
guests
just
dry.
filter bullshit. Then making sure you stay on
Topic.
topic. Then if you have a guest, making sure the guest is somebody that you actually
Engaged.
want to speak to and actually has something to say
About the said topic.
about
Right.
said
Right.
topic or about themselves,
yes
or
or no.
able to even articulate themselves for you to actually get what you need out of it.
Yeah.
Like, this shit is fucking work.
it is.
So,
Mhm.
Yo,
Fuck.
we be working out here, y'all.
Take a bow.
Take a bow. All right, B. Question number 2.
Alright. Antoine, a friend of the show, had appeared on how many episodes? 3, 4, or 5?
how many fingers you put up?
I think I put up 3. My fingers don't make fun.
No, I just, from the angle, I couldn't see.
I don't
think
even
it's
know why you
3.
put
I
it
say
first.
4.
I was trying to give him the answer. He got the first one wrong.
I say 4.
What'd you say?
She said 3.
I said 3.
So Stephen was right. It's 4.
It's
Yeah.
4 episodes.
Because I know for a fact he's been on the show the most times.
Gotcha.
He was on for the Daddy episode.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
He was on for
His own episode.
his own
Literally.
episode. He was on for gender roles, I believe.
Mhm.
And then he was on for an episode where we had the cats. Or no, one of the cats.
Yeah. Little cat.
Yeah.
For
So
those
4.
of you who don't know, he's the person who's on the intro, literally.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That person that says, fuck out of here, sophisticated ignorance, that's all Antoine.
Are y'all fucking crazy?
Speaking
Yeah.
of the drop, which of these episodes has the infamous drop? Is it episode 8, episode 21, or episode 50? Now, I'll give you the names of the episodes for context, because who the fuck's going to remember, like, all these
No,
episode
I already
names?
know the episode.
Oh,
'Cause I
do
actually, I actually specifically asked.
Well, episode 8 is Daddy Daycare, right? Then episode 21 is Venus versus Mars. That's the one we were talking about with the cats.
Mhm.
And then episode 50 is the one that is called Know Your Role.
Is episode 50.
What'd you say, Nieema?
50.
Oh, you just gonna copy his answer?
No, I already had that in my head because it wasn't that early on that we had that drop.
All right, well,
And
the
I
answer
have
is
blonde hair.
episode 50. Y'all got it. All right. Y'all know
I know
things.
what wig I had. That's had the blonde wig with the peach
Talk that
highlight.
shit! Oh my gosh.
And that was
That
that's
was an
another
amazing moment.
that's
That was-
another thing about like how I was saying how like the universe just works in your favor. Like, we didn't have a studio up until the week of.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know, speaking to Mandy, one thing she's always said is, like, she hates how she doesn't have, like, I think now they have, like, the whole thing
Mm-hmm.
for a horrible decision, but for a long period of time, they didn't have, like, a natural thing to, like, represent the show.
Right.
And it was just crazy, like, how even before we had that drop, we had the drop where me and Nieema was arguing or doing something in the studio, and she threw up, like, a middle finger.
Yeah, you told me to grow up.
I told her to grow, and I told her to fucking grow up, and she said never. And it was like natural shit like that would just end up being great sound bites. And there's been a few that we've had, and it was just like, anytime that I've ever felt like, yo, I really don't, I don't want to do the show anymore. The numbers aren't growing. We're not really expanding the way it should be. I have a moment like that where it's like, nah, I'm supposed to be doing this.
Yeah.
Regardless of how this ends, I'm supposed to be doing this.
Yeah.
That's
Dope
wrong.
shit.
That's
Dope.
wrong.
How
shit.
many guest episodes, non-repeating, have we had overall? A 37, B 40, C 42.
Non-repeating guests?
Mm-hmm.
30. I'm gonna say 30.
That's not even one of the numbers.
Yeah, that's
It
not.
wasn't 37. Wow, it was 37.
Wow. Wow.
I'd say
Well.
37. I didn't take
Yeah.
a count. I'm gonna say 37.
Yeah, that sounds about white.
It's 37, y'all.
It is 37. I
Good
had to
job.
count. 37
And it's
guests.
crazy we even had that many guests, because I remember a
That's
long
They
period
don't
of
feel
time.
like it.
That's
I remember a long
bizarre.
period of time. Nieema used to argue with me like, yo, I don't want to have guests on the show.
I used to feel I would be like, who
Too
is that?
many.
Who is that?
Mood.
Bye.
You know how
What are we talking to them for?
Because we know how Steven is. Steven would just get a pretty chick to want to sit on the microphone. I'd be like, my
What are
nigga.
we talking to her for?
Right.
What she do?
I think my biggest moment when I was like, yo, no one's coming on unless you ask me first, when Shorty just didn't show up at all. She didn't say nothing. She was some Instagram chick. I still don't know what the fuck she did. I think she had like a makeup line. Who knows?
Wait, who was that?
Yeah, it was mad long ago. It was in the beginning, probably like within our first year. And then I'm on my way to the studio, and Steven texted me like, "Oh, she said she not coming. I ain't hear nothing from her."
Oh.
And I was like, "Well, thank God we had an episode in the chamber."
Mm.
Well, yeah.
At that point, I was like, "Yeah, see,
we won't know and we'll never know.
Yeah, I wonder who that was.
That was all that.
some light
That was
skin
yay
chick,
long ago.
Yes.
Yikes.
trash."
That's unfortunate. Oh, well, you missed your chance, sis. Moving on. Speaking of
I really gotta figure out who that
girls in the building, our Miss B here, our EP, she's right there. Y'all can see her. Which episode did she first appear on? Oh yeah.
I already
Now
know
y'all gotta
this.
think.
I
Oh, do you know this?
I
I
don't
think
know.
so.
I remember the name of the episode.
Is this
Oh, I think I
episode
know
20?
what it is.
My president is still back. Is this episode 24, which is coloring book, or is this episode 26, which is flower bomb?
Episode coloring book.
Coloring book.
All right.
That was a dead giveaway. You
I know.
should have
That
just
was
cut
an
the
easy one.
numbers. That was
As I
easy.
said, these were easy. These were easy
Yeah.
ones, just to kind of test the waters.
Hit us with them hard shits, bro. Pause.
Pause.
If y'all can see my face right now, no comment. Oh.
What they said? New York chicks be saying, "Crack my back." What they say?
My
What?
What they said?
Crack my back, my guy.
Yeah.
Deep in my G.
Fam.
Hey,
Somebody says
yo.
Yo,
crack
you
their
killing
back.
this shit, dead ass. That was probably
What'd you
one of
say?
our.
Wreck my
That was
shit?
definitely probably one of
Crack
my
my
favorite
back?
episodes.
Wreck my shit.
The New York episode?
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Just mad ignorant. Just talking
That
mad
was a
shit.
good one. I wasn't expecting that one to get so big.
Yeah,
that was
people
a good
actually
one.
really
Yeah,
like
people
that one.
really
Did a
fuck
part
with
two.
that.
People like the fuckboy episode too, and I was
Oh,
surprised.
yeah.
That was one of my favorites for a while.
Jeez.
I was surprised. I was like, oh.
Because we were really talking facts with them.
Yeah.
Oh, facts though now. There you go.
Look, man, you just gotta give the people what they want.
All the time. They like mixy shit sometimes.
Every day.
I think they like mixy shit all the time.
A little bit of knowledge, a little bit of mixing. It balances itself out.
Stay being mixy.
we were introduced to another studio,
quote unquote.
tragic, where we re-recorded some episodes. How many did we record there? 8, 9, or 10?
I was gonna say 10 off the rip.
The interrogation room?
I'm gonna
was
say
different. Nobody smiled.
9.
It was 8.
It's only 8.
Yeah.
And that was 8 too many.
It was rough.
It seemed like a lot more than
That
that.
place was rough. I felt like I was in trouble.
It was, you're in detention.
Fact.
I was
Dum
scared to
dum.
ask for water.
Yeah, for those who don't know, early part of last year, we started recording at a different studio for different reasons. And the shit was just horrible experience in comparison to the great service that we get at Dubway. In some office building, and they basically rented out a fucking room, and they just made a makeshift studio. So they had like
Styrofoam on the wall.
on the fucking wall, and the engineer was in the room on a basic ass like soundboard, and everything was being uploaded there.
I felt finessed.
The soundboard actually
I
looked like
felt
the shit that we bought.
finessed.
They just
Yeah,
wanted
the
to be
soundboard actually
personable.
looked
It
like
felt
the cheap-
uncomfortable.
The soundboard looked like that cheap ass podcast studio shit we bought, and it was just a bad experience.
I mean, they tried.
I felt finessed. I felt like they got me.
You felt fired?
Yeah.
You felt fire fest?
I felt fire
Fire fraud?
No.
You got fire frauded?
Y'all a mess. Y'all are a mess.
I'm surprised Daru wasn't behind the one and twos.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
it was
baby.
like for me personally, like I'm big on energy, and going
None.
into that
Lack
place,
of.
the energy, there was no genuine positive energy in there.
No.
I
There
always
was
felt
none.
like I always felt rushed. I always felt as though like everything has to be perfect. Sometimes we would ask them to do shit and they didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
It was just too much.
They used to leave shit out.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just too much.
You,
it was just
you
too
literally
much.
have one job.
Or they wouldn't press stop. Like, it would keep going. Like, y'all would stop talking, the episode would be over. And it would be, like,
Yeah.
15 minutes of silence. Like, I'm like,
Yeah, they was wilding out.
what the
I
fuck?
think I was fed up when we had just finished recording and we was a guest on another podcast, so we had to call in. And so I asked them before, it was like, yo, are y'all using the room? Because if not, I just need to make a phone call into another show. They're like, no, we're not using it. This, that, and the third. Because if they were using the room, I could have just did the shit in the hallway or
Right.
went somewhere else. So we did the shit. Then we leave. Then I get an email like, oh, by the way, if you're gonna be using the room, even though you don't have an engineer, I'm gonna have to charge you. I'm like, but I asked if somebody's using the room. If you need it for any particular reason, I have no problem. I even explained what I was using the room for.
Right.
So that should be explained to me at that point.
Right.
And then it was like, nah, well, just for future notice. It was like, yada, yada, yada. I was like, oh, y'all fucking.
Future
fuck.
notice, suck my dick.
Yeah.
Right.
And 8 episodes later, we were out.
Yeah. And the big
Bye.
killer was they knew specifically that Sundays were the only days we could record.
And they would always book it up.
And then they would give me I'll never forget this day. They sent the schedule for April, and all of April, every Sunday was completely booked because they had dudes in there recording like 7-hour podcasts and
Yeah,
shit.
Right.
Karate podcast. How do you have a podcast about karate?
Yo.
Like,
I was like, nah,
yo.
I ain't
Karate
never
is a
going back.
respectable
How do you
fighting
explain
form.
karate?
I mean, let's be honest.
7 hours,
Well, I don't know about 7 hours karate marathon.
and then you're doing it every
like
week.
what in the Harajuku Barbie is your motherfuckers doing in this room for 7 fucking hours? Like,
Yo.
fucking bored.
Yo.
Like, they're bored. Like, my
Yeah.
wife hates me.
Yo.
My cat don't really like me. So I'm just gonna
What?
record
Leave
about
gently alone, okay?
fucking karate with my bros for
my
7
God.
hours.
Yeah,
I
and then
mean-
once I got that, I was like, alright, I'm going back home. And I remember they emailed
I
me
used to be
too.
like, Steven, when we going back home?
I remember they emailed me too. It was like, oh, I know you tend to record from 2 different podcasts. Just letting you know that I'm gonna have some available slots coming up. I was like, nah,
Eat
you
a
good.
dick.
You can keep it.
You good.
I'm good.
You didn't crack my back, my guy. Sorry.
No.
Eat a dick.
Nah, y'all can keep it. No thanks. Like,
And
and
then-
even like, I shout out to Aaron and AJ from Vital Information. I put them on to that studio, and they fucking left. They was like they couldn't do it because they would
Wow.
like send them their audio files late and shit.
That's a major issue.
Yeah, so it was like, nah.
More of the story, stick to what you know. And that's about
You know what that lesson taught me? You get what you fucking pay for.
Facts.
That's what
Right.
that showed me, honestly.
Too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Never again.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
Back home, comfy. Comfy.
Word. The chairs was trash. The styrofoam kept falling.
All right, now you just rant. Now you just vent.
It was just too
now you
much.
triggered.
I already had a bad back, and I'm sitting in that hard ass chair. Oh my god.
Attention!
Okay.
That shit was
Shit
trash.
was in
It was
flames.
bad. All right,
Then
next,
niggas
next.
would say shit mad funny, and he would just be sitting there with the
Staring.
stone
Word.
face,
I used to be like,
no
okay.
expression
Like, yo,
whatsoever.
fam, I knew that shit was hilarious. Why are you not laughing?
Bruh, you know that shit mad funny.
I would try to
Like,
have a
stop.
conversation with him after. I'm like, this is just not working.
Not going.
I'm
It was
leaving.
mad dry.
You're a dub.
Mid done.
Me done. Me not had that.
Fucking stupid.
Moving right along our little quiz. On episode 9 of Dating Fetishes, we had Tabria Majors in the building.
That episode.
So
Yo!
still mad I wasn't even here for that. Yo, I'm still tight. But shout outs to Tabria and Mindy and
Yeah.
the gang
They doing shit.
there. Which preference did Tabria state that she had first? What was the first preference that she mentioned? Was it money, race, or height?
Height. Because she's tall. I feel like it was height.
Probably the same thing. Height.
The answer is height.
Height.
Yes. That was one of the first preferences that she mentioned because she don't fuck with no short niggas.
She's tall.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a confirmation. Oh, baby, same.
I remember.
Mood,
And
mood,
I
No
remember.
local man over here.
Yeah.
And I remember we caught heat for that episode too.
Yeah.
Cause I remember when
Yeah.
I was I listened to like a few. There was like a few episodes on the thing.
Oh yeah,
After
that was a thing.
there was like some forum where it was like cause Tabria obviously you can say she's a public figure. She is a public figure.
Yeah.
So her name is gonna generate traction everywhere. So there was like a forum where they was talking shit about her weight, and the things that she said in the podcast because she was like specifying how she had an encounter with an Asian guy and how that didn't go too well and things of that nature. And they was throwing dirt on her name, they was throwing dirt on my name, they was throwing dirt on Nieema's name, and I was like, yo,
I never even saw it. I was like,
Suck
I
my
want to
dick.
see it.
Mhm.
and
Or disrespectfully.
hey, that you bringing our numbers up
Thank
Pretty
you.
much.
Appreciate
Thanks,
y'all.
because that's definitely in the top 5 most played episodes. That episode,
And
the Mandy episode, there's others, but yeah,
Yeah, thanks for
Keep going.
Thanks for listening.
Talk your shit.
Our first clip of Extra Ignorance happened February 2018. What was one of the topics discussed? A. Pregnant women. B. Onesies. C. Orgasmic massages.
This is why I get it wrong.
I'm
Your
gonna
turn, Steven.
say
I ain't even finna try. This is when you gotta touch. You just put C all the way down.
Okay.
I'm gonna say orgasmic touches.
Orgasmic touch.
Massages.
Oh yeah, whatever.
It was onesies.
What the fuck was we talking about?
Yeah, what the fuck? I don't know.
I probably said some wild shit.
You were definitely talking about it was we were talking about Valentine's Day and somehow the topic got on like you buying a onesie or you had a onesie that you wanted to wear and then we just started talking about
Oh, we
onesies.
started talking about the onesies with the back out.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hard pause.
Oh
Out of
man.
pocket. Out of
That's
pocket.
that great content from
Do you
Sophisticated
still have
Ignorance.
that onesie though?
What?
Or did you ever get it?
I never got it. I couldn't
Damn.
find it.
Mood now. You know you gotta
Just
get
make
it.
one.
You gotta get
Buy a
one.
onesie and just cut the
Cut
back
the
out.
ass out.
That's breathing.
What are you talking about?
Son,
They
look-
probably got ones with the buttons or
Yeah.
The thing was that I couldn't find one that actually fit me. That was
But
it.
now you can. Boom boom. Pop
we'll
pop.
see.
I'm
Okay,
gonna find you
period.
one.
Don't block your blessings, sis. Get yourself some onesie. Do your life a favor.
Shut up.
I'm just saying. Like, onesies are dope.
Next one. Next
Goodness.
one.
All right, next cue. All right. So, next question is
Get a
on
juicy
episode 45. We ain't got no topic. Remember that one. There was, in fact, a topic that was discussed in length. What was it about? Was it about R. Kelly, dating, or favorite foods?
Steven's probably hungry. I'm gonna say favorite foods.
Probably favorite food.
What you think?
Favorite foods.
It was, in fact, R. Kelly.
Really?
We got into a lengthy conversation about R. Kelly.
Y'all
Even
got
before-
foresight.
Even before the fucking documentary.
We prophets.
We prophets.
Pay us some fucking respect.
Yeah, we were saying he was nasty back then, y'all. So
Yeah, now
y'all
look.
y'all brand new on this new shit.
Word.
Ben said he was nasty.
We been canceled him.
Word.
6 Lifetime series.
There's that.
6 lifetimes.
Called it.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Get my check cut. My money.
Next.
In episode 29, That's What She Said, one of the questions was, would you rather have amazing sex for blank seconds or average sex for 10 minutes? How many seconds? A, 30, B, 47, C, 55.
55.
I feel like one of the cats said some wild shit like 30 seconds or something stupid. I really feel like
So say
somebody
30.
said that. Let's go with 30 because they were wildin'.
It was 47 seconds.
47. Wildin'.
Who would think of 47 seconds?
That was little cat.
Of all the numbers,
That was a little cat
why
answer.
we listened to that episode like
What
47
the
seconds?
hell?
What can you do in 47 seconds?
That had
Not
to be
even that.
answer.
Why
Blow
is that
your back
number?
out.
Right. If you're getting your back blown out for 47 seconds, you need a better back.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Because that's
Out
not
here
a lot
with
of
the
time.
fucking-
That's
out
a
here with
fact.
the-
You
out
should
here
have
with the-
stretched, sis.
Out of here with the fucking hunchback.
Word.
Oh my.
You got a weak back for
You should
47
have stretched.
seconds.
Get
is
your
one of the
waist
shakes.
trainer with the bone in.
Fucking mess, yo.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking boning. That is a fucking fact. That shit hurt.
That shit hurt, okay?
You like
Listen.
a fucking soldier the whole time.
Mad sis. Okay?
Wait, wasn't there a meme where they put a waist trainer on fucking Donkey Kong?
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
That's how girls be looking, though.
That
That's
is
a fact.
disgusting.
My client was like, yeah, I'm gonna go get lipo. And I'm just like, you know, he could probably take out more fat if he lost a little bit more weight.
You won't even qualify.
bit
Like,
more.
it's not even safe. Like, honestly.
I don't know why they do it. I have a couple of
Yo,
clients
you
like
look
that.
like
They
a
little,
sausage.
they boobs here, they butt out here, and they got compact. They compact.
Nah,
Yeah.
Like
sis.
a little school milk.
Like a sardine body.
The little school milks.
Nah, sis. Nah,
Now you
sis.
shaped like a Nesquik bottle. Good job.
Nah, sis.
The fucking palm bottle. Just like that. The palm bottle.
Body shaming aside, do better, people. Anyway. Moving right along. No, for real.
We
Like, do
shame
better.
respectfully.
Yes.
Do better. We all gotta do better. Anyway. All right. Which slang term was not brought up on episodes 39 and 40, which is facts and dead ass? We were just talking about that. Is it dumb, so boom, or lit?
Dumb.
Dumb.
What?
It was lit.
We never talked about lit.
Lit.
Really?
They be using lit on their Disney Channel. Don't ask me how I know that. But they
How do you know that?
You
My
watch it.
favorite
The
is-
fuck you talking
Which
about?
show? Which show? Which show you watch?
All of them.
Yeah, I watch all of them.
Just sweet life of Jack and Cody head ass. Oh baby.
I'm out. I can't. On episode 84, Trash,
United 2-2.
I do.
which had a segment called The Trashies, Yaz had a list of trash. Which one was on her list? X had a baby on her, her friends aren't loyal, and people in NYC.
X had a baby on her.
That was like a thing in 2017.
Yeah.
That was a thing.
I guess we still in 2017.
Yikes.
That's still happening. Just run, sis. This is
It was
Just run?
A, X had a baby on her.
That's crazy.
That's just. That was so 2017.
No
That shit
comment.
still happening to this day.
To the day.
To this day.
No comment.
No comment?
Those
No
Steven
comment.
Is it
friends.
too close to home?
My friend.
Those your friends.
I don't know what you talking
It
about.
was
Those
Yaz who
Steven
mentioned it.
Steven friend's what?
Look, you just said it was your ass who said it. Who that happened to?
Oh, well. I thought you meant
Right.
like the niggas.
Yeah,
I thought
well,
you meant the
yeah,
niggas that
well.
was having babies.
Nah,
It wasn't me. Like,
ain't my kid. That's his move. It was my kid. Shrug
Prove it.
emoji.
Prove it.
That's
prove it. Where's Maury when you need him?
alright.
Oh, shit. On episode 38, Stunting is a Habit, there was a reference to chokers as a crazy trend. What did Nieema compare them to? Oh my god.
Wow.
Yo, when I heard this shit, I was dying of laughter. Was it A, a rubber band, B, telephone cord, or C, dog collar?
Probably a telephone cord. If I said a dog collar, that's wild.
I'm gonna have to say what she said. Telephone
That's
cord.
right.
You're right. You know exactly what you said. And you said it in the
That's-
same energy, too. That's the crazy part. That's definitely something she would say. Oh, my God.
Fucking telephone cord.
Spot
wrapped around
on.
their neck. Wildin'.
Alright.
Says, take the extension cord off. It's okay.
So you
I'm
don't,
done.
you don't like chokers? You never had
I do, but remember those shits that used to look like telephone cord? They used to,
They did though.
it was
They
mad
did.
at them. And then the
That
string
wasn't
just
cute.
hang like this.
It wasn't cute. I'm glad it's over.
What's the next one?
Good job.
Scotch Porter has been rocking out as our sponsor for a while. Which episode had the first Scotch Porter ad? Episode 6, 8, or 10?
Steven.
I'm going to say 6.
I'm gonna go with what Steven said.
It's
Steven,
accurate.
Yeah,
Open
that was early
relationships.
on.
That was the first time.
Yeah, that was early on. I was gonna say episode 4, but 6 seems
We shot
reasonable.
out Scotch Sport for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Where you at, though?
Nah,
We'll
don't
talk
start
off
with
here.
Okay. I didn't realize it was that deep.
Awkward.
But consider
About my business, yo.
Scotch Porter's not a real person, but okay.
Next.
All right. Well,
Fire him at me.
the last question here. This is not really like a trick question. I just really got up to 15 and then I just got busy. So anyway, we are not the first podcast with the name Sophisticated Ignorance. Guess the number of other podcasts with the same name. Is it 3, 4, or 5?
I'm gonna say 3.
I'm gonna say 3 as well, although it should be 0.
Well, the answer is all of 5.
What?
I did my Googles. There are 5 podcasts with the same name.
How many episodes they got? Not 100.
All right, well, that's the flex. Definitely not 100, but they out there.
Are they still recording?
Never.
Some are, some aren't.
So they don't count. Eat a dick.
All right. Well,
This has been a public service announcement.
to
I've
everybody.
been giving these out all day. Damn.
Just got mad dicks and suck lover, right? Like,
Facts. You get a dick. You get a dick. You get a dick.
yo,
Remember that fucking emoji you made with the Super Mario throwing the eggplant? Want to suck my dick?
Facts.
what? All right. I ain't got no comment for that. I have no idea.
Oh man, we be bored.
Facts.
I turned Vixon into a meme.
Yo.
I've become a meme. I don't know how.
We
I
are
don't know
responsible
why,
for making that shit go viral.
But I mean, I guess that look was a mood.
It
was a mood.
It was a
That
mood.
shit worked
It was
so
a vibe.
well.
It was a lifestyle.
I just looked at the camera blankly, like, what the hell is going
What
on here?
happened? And then you see the full picture. It's like, y'all.
Cause y'all just be wildin', and I'm Malcolm in the middle. I'm just like, yo, what the fuck?
What is
did I do?
happening?
It look like Ryan right here.
Why did I
Mhm.
do
It just
Oh,
be
there's
mad
a camera.
shenanigans going on.
Like that awkward
You
moment
look
when
caught.
it just zoom in on one person.
Jeez.
And that was that moment. It was perfection.
Yeah.
Perfection.
It was.
I mean, it's kind of necessary. Kind of what fucking sets the tone.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't ever want this shit to be too serious, but then I don't want this shit to be too loose
A
at the
joke.
same time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because
Joke.
based on the guests we've had, there's a few of them that have their own podcasts and they're able. Fucking Mandy going on tour with Wheezy.
That shit crazy.
Tabria
Shout out
have
to
live
them.
shows bi-coastal. Like, this shit has the potential to be profitable for people.
One of those.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So the moment we take this shit on the road and we go uptown, we made it. That's it.
It's so,
That's our tour. We should just do an
Uptown?
uptown tour of different avenues. Like,
it's so annoying.
I need my vest.
Wait, how far uptown?
that's up to
She
you.
was serious.
She live uptown.
That's up to you.
Harlem. We didn't have the Bronx. So that's what I
Oh
said.
yeah,
how
I'm
far
good
uptown
on
we
the
going.
Bronx.
I'm good on the Bronx.
Harlem is like this big.
We gotta
We're
do 2
gentrified
boroughs.
as fuck now.
We're gonna do Manhattan and Brooklyn. That's it.
Yeah.
You could walk down the street
Our 2
singing
borough
Mr.
tour.
Rogers at 3 a.m. in Harlem now, and nothing will happen to you. This is different. So you go further, that's where I stop.
So we're just gonna do a 2 borough tour. That's it.
Harlem not even a borough. Let me not say that out loud. They about to come for me.
Manhattan is the borough. That Harlem. So
Brooklyn and Harlem.
that's it. That's the tour.
Yeah, people in Brooklyn love Williamsburg though.
For what reason, I don't know.
I don't know. You always want to go there. It's my turn around. It's in Williamsburg. Like, bitch.
Dumb expensive over there.
I don't know. I think that's because there's mad venue spaces that they've like not even constructed. It's literally like an abandoned place that they just cleaned up one area, and now this is an event space now.
Facts.
So that's where, and you got a lot of people. You got people that's just, it's groups of them that just buy out the spot, and they just gonna take whoever to fucking pay. So that's why Williamsburg's on it. And then who else is gonna go that deep into Brooklyn? If it's not downtown, it's not Williamsburg. Nobody's going to Flatbush to no event.
Well,
Nobody's going to the Sty, depending on where it is.
It would be in Bushwick partying though.
Well, Bushwick is not that far from
Downtown?
Williamsburg.
Okay,
it's
makes
really
sense.
next door.
Yeah.
Makes sense now.
It's like Bushwick is just a Latino Williamsburg. Basically.
Right. I ain't want to lie.
I mean, it's the truth though. Am I lying?
I think the gentrification is hitting that area
I
pretty
mean,
hard.
it's spreading. It's definitely spreading like darkness is. But you know, at the same time, there's still a little bit of culture left. A little bit.
Sprinkle.
I was saying that the other day to somebody. Like, I saw... Jesus Christ. I was saying that the other day, like, I was randomly on Tumblr, and I saw a picture of, like, a New York skyline, and there was, like, mad graffiti on all the buildings. And then I thought to myself, like, how you don't fucking see graffiti anymore. Or if it is graffiti, it's from a legit artist that they paid to, like, construct something.
Now it's a mural.
To do it.
Yeah, it's like, no, I wanted to see the old shit that I really don't even understand what the characters really mean.
Right.
But it just looks appealing, and it gives me that,
No.
yeah, it gives me that nostalgic
Once
vibe.
you got rid of
New
that
York,
5 Point spot in Queens, like for those who don't know,
Yeah.
there was this big ass building that had like it was like a graffiti artist haven, like mad art and mad shit on it. And then once they got rid of that shit,
yeah, it was pretty
all
much
the,
down.
all the graffiti's gone now. Now everything's mad clean, but yet mad dirty. How is that possible?
The people.
Oh, whoop, that's deep.
Wow.
The building's clean, but the people dirty.
And that's the end of this episode.
What do we have anything more to say? No.
Well,
not really.
so I know we talked about the last episode talking about doing a meetup.
This is Vixen's job.
We should definitely do that. I think that would be cool.
You still haven't told us where to go.
Well, yes.
We
I thought we could do it as a family, but
Trying to
clearly not.
you didn't hear me whisper say that's Vixen's job.
Yeah, no, I heard you. I was trying to address it.
If Nieema says Vixen's job,
All right,
I'm
well
going
then
with
it'll be my
Nieema.
job. I guess I'll keep y'all posted somehow, somewhere. We'll just meet up somewhere and just chill out.
Like, we have to find some place accommodating for people who might be coming from the city and live in Brooklyn.
All
People
right,
from Brooklyn don't like to
it'll
go
be
to
in the city. It'll definitely be in the city. Where I don't know yet,
Oh,
but
I don't care about the
to be determined.
city's right there.
But it gotta be a nice spot though, like a big spot to hold mad people.
Well,
It's not gonna be like a private party. It's just
before we
like,
even do that, we gotta take a poll to figure out how many people will actually come.
well,
So that way, that helps us figure out what type of venue we should be looking for.
this is also true.
So I'll do
Listen,
that.
This was literally supposed to be like, yo, we're gonna be here. Y'all just come link us here.
that's
That's
exactly what's going to be.
Yeah,
Fuck a
but then-
poll. If y'all
Right.
fuck with us, pull up.
Right.
That's it.
I don't want to
They
be in
will
a
send
spot
you-
and then it's like 75 to 100 people pull up, and then it's like,
All right, then they just have to accommodate. Like
yeah, okay.
That's their job.
that's their
Yeah.
job.
Eh,
paying they
don't
tab.
really work like that.
We're not paying nobody's tab. It's like, yo, we're chilling here. Y'all come chill with us, and y'all know what time it is. Like,
Pull up and have a good time. The same way if I was to invite y'all to a birthday party, I would come
Exactly.
through and y'all would drink with me, have fun. And that's the same kind of vibe we want. We want to hang out with y'all. We want to chill with y'all. We want y'all to know that we appreciate you. So I would be sending out invites whenever we figure out a date.
correct.
So I know a lot of people that I know wants to come. Whether or not they've been on the show, they want to come. So that's a strong 20 people right there. We just got to find a date that works for everybody.
There's a friend of my brother's who would really like to meet you, Nieema. I told him about you. Well, he
What
knows
his
about you.
money looking like?
Well,
Okay,
I am
period.
not in his pockets, but he admires you, and yeah, I told him that you'll definitely be at the meetup.
All right, tell him to pull up.
All right, well there you go. We just gotta set it up.
That's nice.
Oh.
Building relationships.
That's nice.
But before we
I
go,
hope nobody
one thing I
listens
wanted
to
to
what I
say,
just
and the
said.
same
I'm
thing
gonna
I
get
said
in
about
trouble.
culture, because recently we've gotten some inquiries about coming onto the show and things of that nature.
Mm.
This is just like a PSA. Like, we're very selective on who we bring on the show.
Steven trying to be nice about it. I'm gonna let you say it 'cause I'm not gonna say it right.
He did. He laid it out. Go ahead.
Yeah, we very selective on who we pull on the show. Like, we have a history. Most of the people that we've had on the show were either personal friends or people that are in the industry and got something to talk about. And, you know, I'm not going to always respond to every single email. People send inquiries. So, although we do always ask to reach out, yo, if we don't feel like we can craft the episode about you, or if we don't feel like we can give great content, we just not going to do the episode. Doesn't mean anything about you personally. It just means like, yo, we set a standard for ourselves and we got to maintain that standard. So that's how it is moving forward. And yeah, that's pretty much. And then another thing about that is like, if you do reach out, actually send fucking information. Don't send me no basic shit like, my name is such and such, I do ABC, and hope to be on the show. Like, who the fuck are you?
My name is Keisha. I work in retail.
I've been getting a lot of those. So
I got
so what you want to talk
I
about?
got a crazy story that happened to me the other day, y'all. I
And
need
that
to be on
even
your
goes
show.
for that even goes for the people that's already been on the show. There's been a few people that have reached out to me again and be like, yo, I want to come back. I'm like, okay. But if I brought you on, I brought you on for a specific reason to discuss A, B, and C. Now what are we going to talk about?
Right.
It's like, I'm not just going to bring you on for the sake of fucking bringing you on. So, yeah, like, if you got to reach out, actually elaborate a little bit before you just, you know, send the invitation. I remember the first time we had Mandy on, and Mandy was like, yo, the only reason why I agreed to be on the show is based off the email that you sent me. Like, you explained who you was, you explained the purpose of the show, you explained the purpose of the episode, and that was really professional, and I appreciated that, and that's why I agreed to be on. Because before, at that point, because Horrible Decisions was mad early, they weren't doing nobody else's shows. So, if I'm not mistaken, we may have been the first other podcast to have Mandy on.
Yeah, one of the first.
One of the first, for sure.
If not the first. So it's like, if you're going to reach out, be professional about your shit. Because that's how I take this shit serious. Like, don't send me no bland-ass email. That shit's going straight to the trash.
Yeah, because then he has to send it to me. And I have to craft the fucking episode.
Right.
And listen.
And once B gets tight, spam block does it.
It's a dub.
Yeah.
Spam block
And then,
does it.
like I said, we've set a standard for ourselves when it comes to the type of people we brought on the show. We've had Chris, who told his amazing journey through life. We've had Adafi, who told his story. We've had Kat, who spoke about lupus. We have another episode that we're about to record that's going to be insane.
Crazy.
Like,
crazy.
yeah, we kind of set a standard for ourselves. So we would like to keep up that. We gotta keep that same sort of energy.
That caliber. It's really about structure at the end of the day. Like, if you want to come on the show, come with something. Don't just come just because you want to be on a podcast.
Yeah, because there's been a few of those. Is like, I don't know, maybe they come across us on social media, or they may come across us through somebody else, and it's like, oh, I do X, Y, and Z. I would love to be on the show. It's like, first of all, do you even fit our brand? Like,
no, but sometimes they never even listened to our show before, and I'd be
That's true too.
They just want to come on. They've never heard.
We ain't QVC. We ain't. This isn't a commercial. We ain't here to sell. We ain't here to promote your brand.
I think what people don't understand is our episodes are really crafted, so it's not just a bunch of people up here shooting shit, you know, about nothing. That's not what goes on here. It's very well thought out.
Yeah, this shit is not winged.
Right, it's not winged.
You don't just come to a fucking studio and just.
And even when we did wing, we did a good job.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Vanessa Williams.
Period. Okay?
Period.
Putting that on a shirt too.
Vanessa Williams.
But yeah, I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else that I need to add. Again,
first and foremost, thank y'all.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We literally would not be here without.
Before I even forget this, the craziest conversation I had today was this young lady that was in my DMs who responded to one of my IG stories. She listens to the show and she lives in fucking Ethiopia, and I just thought that was insane.
That's dude.
Yeah.
So
that was insane.
Shout out to you,
live show in
seriously.
Ethiopia.
Yeah, shout out to her.
We're gonna make sure that you get front row seats.
That made my damn day.
It did. That's crazy.
Because I even told her, I was like, yo, sometimes I look at the stats and be like, they ain't real. Like, I know people in the UK. I know people in the UK. So if I see numbers from the UK, it makes sense. I know people in specific countries. If I see numbers in those countries, it makes sense. But if I'm seeing people from like fucking Ireland or Ethiopia and shit like that, I'm like, yo, that's wild. So that's another thing that reassures me, like, all right, like, we actually doing something.
We have some reach.
Yeah, we kind of popping out here.
We fake big out here.
No, we not fake big. We real big.
We big big.
Big, big.
Big big.
One big would do.
One big would do.
Silly.
No, for real. But thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for rocking with us for 100 episodes. That's just
Let's see
alone
what the
once
next
again.
100 is gonna be about.
Well, I mean, as she said,
101 is
Vanessa
about to
Williams.
be a problem.
What?
101, episode
Oh, yeah,
101
that's
is
gonna
about
be
to
rough.
be
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. We starting off the next
You
100
need to
with
seriously-
some smoke. I'm afraid.
I'm afraid.
We gotta have like
I'm-
the room.
I'm
We
straight
can't
shot.
have no cameras or anything
I
in
don't
here.
think
That's fine.
Okay.
Y'all not gonna see it, but y'all gonna hear it. I'm already shook. That's it.
I'm still
And it's
coming.
crazy how that lined up because that was not intentional.
Well,
Nah.
like most things in life,
Yeah.
just came out of nowhere.
Like
Yeah, again.
babies.
And that's
Thank everybody for
how
listening.
people are made.
Yeah.
Hey.
Like-
Thank
Like
everybody
babies.
for listening. I want to thank everybody that's in this room right now because at any point anybody could have just walked away from this because nobody's getting paid. Everybody has taken their time out to come here every week to, come and sit down and talk about shit. There's been plenty of moments for myself where it's like I'm not in the mood to talk, but I'm
I
sure
know.
everybody else had, or people had other shit they had to do, work around their schedule. So, yeah, I appreciate everybody that's been a part of this journey. Because you didn't have to be here. Literally.
Could have been anywhere you wanted tonight. But you here with me.
I
All
appreciate
right,
that.
We end on that
Thank you for the bar, Jay.
I mean, we are trying to get signed the title, so there's that.
Well, yes, goals. Soon come, soon come.
But yeah, again, thank you for everybody that listens. Thank you
Yes.
to all the guests.
Yes.
Especially for those that share the episodes when they are appeared on here. Thank for everybody that shares the episodes to their friends, their colleagues, at work. Just and then like I said, thank everybody for all the hard work they put in. Vixon for editing the videos and making sure we have our clips. Bianca for always doing a great job at executive producing and structuring the episodes. Nieema for
Just showing up.
Talking that talk.
That's what I was gonna say. AV for taking all the pictures.
Shout
Yeah,
out.
shout out
Like-
to AV.
Yeah, just everybody plays a part. Everybody plays their role. Everybody's role is extremely important. Like, cause without one, everybody else falls. So
Mhm.
again, thank everybody for
One
tuning in.
What's up?
Jesus Christ. And on that note, this is Sophisticated Ignorance. I am Steven. That's Nieema. That's Bianca. That's
Yeah.
Vixen.
Gang.
AV don't got a mic, but that's
But
A
she's still in the
shooter.
building.
Gang, gang.
Gang.
Brr, 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 brr.
and
Sound
yeah.
effects.
We'll talk to y'all next week.
You need to say something. Okay.
And that's it. We out.
Later, yo.
We are out here. Fuck y'all talking about. Sophisticated ignorance. Are y'all fucking crazy?
That's a fact. Talk
Are
that
y'all
shit.
crazy? Yo, y'all getting me tight. Like, I be out here trying to be humble. Let's not get fucking crazy. Sophisticated ignorance. Alright?